There is a referendum tomorrow around a proposal to give Aboriginal people a voice. And while I think we should support this measure and oppose the Racist No campaign, I also think it is hypocrisy from the Australian federal government to say that they support Indigenous rights when they are so determined to undermine the rights of the Palestinian people. Yeah. So we're here today to oppose the war currently going on, the war that Israel is conducting in Gaza. Over the past week, we've seen Israel bomb Gaza incessantly. We've seen basically military hardware supplied by the United States, aircraft and so on, bombing, destroying neighbourhoods in Gaza to a point where refugees from those neighbourhoods return and they can't actually recognise their neighbourhood anymore. Shame! Children under the rubble, women, civilians under the rubble from this bombing. This bombing repeats what we've seen before in Gaza. It's not a response in any sense simply to the events of last weekend, an opportunity that Israel is exploiting for its own ends. It's part of a pattern of colonial violence against the Palestinian people, a pattern that goes back to 1948. However, we need to be aware that we're on the precipice of something potentially much worse, if that is imaginable. Something like a repeat of the events of 1948. In 1948, 750, maybe 800,000 Palestinians were driven from their homes and made refugees. They were at the time half of the population of historic Palestine. Today, Israel and the United States have basically hatched a plan to try to force out perhaps 1 million Palestinians from Gaza. We're seeing already 250,000 displaced, and that's just going to keep going up day by day. Israel is determined to do that for two reasons. Firstly, it wants to invade and reoccupy Gaza, and that would be easier to do if there are less people there. But secondly, and most importantly, this is a part of a pattern of ethnic cleansing of historic Palestine to make all Palestinians refugees. And shame! We say enough's enough. And we're not going to let that happen. That's why we're mobilising today. So when I say we're on the precipice of something, we can do something about this. But it's going to require people power. It's going to require masses of people to take to the streets in every city, every town around the world. In a moment I'm going to introduce Hannah Magar, who's going to present a spoken word, if Hannah's here. Before I do, I just want to explain and stress that our rally tonight is a peaceful rally, and that Friends of Palestine, and I would say the whole Palestine Solidarity Movement, is united in opposing any forms of racism. We have zero tolerance of racism. Palestinians and many other Arab and Muslim people here tonight would know that we've seen over the last 2 decades basically a campaign of Islamophobia to demonise people not just in Palestine but the Arab world, the Middle East, basically to aid the United States' efforts to basically assert itself as an imperial power once again. But we're also aware that racism takes many forms. We're opposed not only to Islamophobia but to anti-Semitism, to any form of racism and any form of bigotry. And we know that today the state of Israel has ministers who are openly fascists, racists, like Ben Gvir and Smotrich. These people are open racists. And for our government to embrace them and to support them is absolutely shameful. So can I please hear a big welcome for Hannah Magar, who will open our night tonight with some performance.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, which means peace and blessings be with you all. By definition, to resist is to withstand force. But the media will have you thinking that Palestinian violence is the source. Tell me it's not resisting when you've been living under apartheid occupation for 75 years. Tell me it's not resisting when you have a number on your arm for easy identification, as if you were an animal not from the human nation. Routine interrogations twice every single year. Their number one priority to force you to live in fear. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. Tell me it's not resisting when you just spent 20 hours in the dark because they've cut your electricity. You can't shower when you want, can't keep food fresh on your table. There's no access to clean water, no such thing as living stable. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. Tell me it's not resisting when they live in the unlivable, when poverty enters every home still standing, when death is the neighbor of each Palestinian and life for them wears a black dress constantly. Tell me it's not resisting when they walk on the shattered glass of their broken windows. They walk on the stones that were once their homes with stories, memories and love. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. Tell me it's not resisting when please explain are wanting to go where? They're blocked in from all sides with no place to run and no place to hide. But we all know Israel's real end goal is for a Palestinian genocide. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. Tell me it's not resisting when there are warplanes constantly flying over your homes and fear is all that you've ever known. When 10-year-olds in Gaza have already witnessed and been traumatized in their short lives by 7 major bombing campaigns. Tell me it's not resisting when you need to go through checkpoints in your own land, when you need a permit to build a house in your own land. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. Tell me it's not resisting when every single person existing in Gaza is a hostage. They call it an open-air prison, but it isn't just that, because prison implies being convicted of a crime. But Gaza is a city with 1 million children in it, so half of the population's only crime is being born in a time where a place like Gaza exists. We don't stand. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. Tell me it's not resisting when they are currently starving 2.2 million people of food, electricity, water and fuel. And they want to talk about what they're facing is cool. This is a war crime under the 4th Geneva Convention. The wounded in Gaza don't even have access to medical attention because they've cut off aid from every direction. They're raining down thousands of the most sophisticated missiles known to humanity, knowing full well there will be endless civilian casualties. White phosphorus chemical weapons being used on a population containing 1 million children. And don't forget, Israeli occupiers require every one of their citizens over 18 to serve in the army. Do you see the difference? Because if you ask me, even if you were deaf, dumb and blind, it would still be easy to see. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. Reality is shaped by when you start the clock. So don't tell me Palestinians wanting freedom, living under occupation is such a shock. They have been caged, brutalized, colonized, expelled and ethnically cleansed, bombed and imprisoned, conditioned for trauma for decades. We don't stand for violence, we stand for resistance. The truth is, Israel doesn't want peace, only to claim every piece of land left, even if that means wiping out every Palestinian threat. Our own government, as a long-supporting country of Israel, has never wanted peace either. So don't start acting like you're some peace preacher, because the Palestinians have never had peace. Tell me, where were you then, still supporting murderers because it didn't matter when Palestinian blood was shed again and again? The root of violence is oppression. Let that sink in. The Israelis want the Palestinians to be the perfect oppressed victim with no retaliation or any violent resistance. But these occupied people just reclaim their stolen land. Invaders be damned, and they demand to be free. The world is watching, and while our governments blindly back the Israeli terrorist state, we vow to never stay silent, to never stop caring, stop Instagram sharing and fighting for change. Today, we call for an end to the bombing and the killing and to innocent civilian blood spilling. We call for an end to apartheid and to genocide, an end to the blockade, the siege, and every breach of the Declaration of Human Rights. Palestinians deserve liberation, free from torture and intimidation. They deserve safety and equality and to be met with some basic humanity. It's time for the world to make a real contribution. It's time we force Israel's compliance with every UN resolution. It's time we stand up and cause the next Intifada revolution. And the only solution is by uprooting the real source of all the violence, Israeli oppression of the Palestinians. So I'll say it again. We don't stand for violence. We stand with the Palestinian resistance.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Free, free Palestine! 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 From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Okay, I should have introduced myself before. My name is Nick Everett. I'm the chair of Friends of Palestine, Western Australia. Friends of Palestine, Spotlight was founded in 2006. So you have one or two of its founding members amongst us tonight in the audience. I became involved in 2008, and we've been rallying here in these streets over and over again each time that Israel has launched an attack, whether it's been on Jenin refugee camp, on Gaza, on the Mavi Marmara. People might remember that many years ago now, Israel basically stormed a ship carrying predominantly Turkish humanitarian workers, volunteers who were bringing aid to Gaza, and killed, I think, about a dozen people aboard that ship. So these are the crimes that the State of Israel commits and continues to commit. Our next speaker, Eamon Quater, is able to speak firsthand about these crimes. Eamon grew up in Gaza, was born and grew up in Gaza. He's most recently visited Gaza in August 2021, I think it was, last time that Israel bombed Gaza. And so he experienced airstrikes firsthand. He's been involved with field work, supporting children exposed to trauma, and educational projects in emergency contexts. Eamon is the Secretary of Friends of Palestine WA. Please make him welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perth, thank you for standing here tonight. In solidarity with Palestine, in solidarity with the Palestinian people, in solidarity with Gaza. We are here today to demand an end to the Israeli occupation. We are here tonight to demand an end to the Israeli apartheid. We are here tonight to end the cycle of oppression and genocidal war happening in Gaza. As I speak to you, Gaza is facing a catastrophic crisis. The UN reports today that 220,000 Palestinians are sheltering in the UN schools. 340,000 have been displaced from their homes. Even more alarming, the UN reports that a few hours ago told 1.1 million Palestinians to leave the north part of Gaza to the south within 24 hours. This is another Nakba happening in 2023. Shame. As I speak to you, my family is still sheltering in their homes in Gaza. Their water supplies is low. Their food is running out. Their homes is lit with candles and battery-powered lights. And they have limited access to internet connection. The occupation has targeted the infrastructures for the internet providers. And several international routes connecting Gaza to the entire world. They have been largely cut off from the world, while surviving a never-before witnessed level of bombing. For the past five days, the only way I could support my family in Gaza was to try to be in touch with them, minute by minute, to make sure that they're still alive. As a Palestinian who was born and raised in Gaza, I know how isolating these aggressions can be. For a population of 2 million people who have been under illegal blockade for the past 15 years. My youngest brother, 17 years old, has witnessed six large-scale aggression in his lifetime, 17 years old. But he tells me that this has been the worst by far. For the past 5 days, I'm aware that these phone calls and conversation could have been our goodbye conversation. Every single Palestinian in Gaza is a target now. Earlier this week, these phone calls and messages were detailed, long, and heartbreaking. My mother speaks to me about the constant bombing, leaving one residential neighborhood after another in ruins. About our grandparents' house and the mosque next door that was leveled to the ground. My sister's message on how heartbroken she feels as she sees the drive of her university leveled to the ground. Not one building standing. Another sister's message from the Shifa hospital, the main hospital in Gaza. She sent the messages of horrific scenes at the emergency department and the maternity ward that she works as a midwife. She reports that the pressure is even higher as the Israeli bombing target hospitals and healthcare facilities across the Gaza Strip. She talks about the stressful journey from and to the hospital in an ambulance that can be a target at any single minute. She reports how the medical staff being exhausted and unable to cope with high number of casualties as they arrive to the hospital in a big numbers. The cut-off of electricity, meaning that more and more wounded people will lose their life very soon. 1,500 Palestinians have been killed. Most of them, 60% of them, are actually children and women. Over 6,000 Palestinians have been injured. Another sister with a newborn who just wants it all to end now. Ask my opinion about what I think when this war is gonna end. My sister crying over her school a UN school that was used as a shelter and bombed while housing thousands of Palestinians. So far, Israel has bombed 2 schools, housing forcibly displaced Palestinians. My brother shares a video by an Israeli official spokesman in Arabic with warning to the neighborhood where my family resides, which is densely populated area like most of the Gaza Strip. The message on Facebook urges the residents of my neighborhood in Gaza to evacuate to the center of Gaza, fearing a similar fate to the Rimal neighborhood, which was obliterated in massive bombing the night before. My father's stubbornness, as he refuses to leave the house after receiving threats, their neighborhoods needs to be evacuated. The scenes of people leaving their homes in masses are horrific. According to the UN, 250,000 have been internally displaced as a result of the ongoing Israeli war crime in Gaza. Messages about the best way to deal with the stifling smell of white phosphorus bomb, internationally prohibited. My mother still remembers the smell from 2008-2009 when they first started using this against the population in Gaza. She warns against closing the windows for fear of closed bombing. These are snippets of the horror inflicting on the Palestinians in Gaza as we speak. They are being collectively punished. But the last 2 days, the messages with my family have been thinning. Where are they bombing now? The kids are scared. I can't put them to sleep. Did you store enough water? Eat one meal, drink little. An extra thinning. We are fine. No power, no internet. This timeline didn't commence this week. It's a story of a prolonged suffering, of oppression and dehumanization of the Palestinian people in Gaza, the West Bank, Palestine in 1948 in Israel, and the diaspora that began back in 1948 and intensified in Gaza since the blockade began in 2006. We are a people who lived under occupation for over 75 years and have been demanding our basic rights as people since ever. This is why we are here tonight, to demand the world that the Palestinians are seeking freedom from the oppression, freedom from apartheid, instead of a cycle of ritual violence committed by the settler colonial state. We are seeking a life lived with dignity, equality, and peace and freedom. The situation in Gaza now could not be more urgent. We stand today around the world in solidarity with the Palestinian people in Gaza to demand the international community uses every possible means to free Palestine. Free Palestine. Thank you. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Thank you.
Free Palestine!
So all the Perth can hear, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
What Eamon's described there is a horrific situation in Gaza, and I want to come back to what I said at the beginning, that what Israel is intent on doing here, the state of Israel, if they can get away with it, is another 1948. That's how serious this is, and we're going to have to stop them. Today, Palestinians make up narrowly a majority of residents in all of historic Palestine. Their numbers are growing compared to Israelis, primarily because the state of Israel today can't attract Jews in any significant numbers from Europe or North America to migrate and boost their numbers. This is a crisis for the state of Israel, a crisis of legitimacy, and it's a crisis of legitimacy brought on by people power. by the efforts of you and me and people, sympathisers of Palestine throughout the world, who have labelled Israel correctly as an apartheid state and a colonialist state, and should be thrown in the dustbin of history. Their project, the Zionist project, should finish, and everyone who lives in Israel and Palestine should have the same rights, should live under a democracy. That's all that we demand. What Israel is trying to do right now is engineer an exodus of Palestinians. And we say, shame, enough's enough. But if we're going to stop this from happening, and we have to stop it now, we're going to have to get organised. We're going to have to get more organised. Friends of Palestine and the Palestinian community are going to meet at City Place on Monday night at 6:30 p.m. and we welcome anybody who can get there to come and join us for a meeting to discuss what we're going to do next. And tonight we also want to announce that there will be another rally on Saturday, October 21st, that's Saturday next weekend, right here again in the Murray Street Mall at 12 noon. There are some flyers circulating. There should be some flyers in that marquee there and a few people distributing flyers. It'll be up on Facebook tonight and we'll be sending it out on our email networks and on Twitter and on Instagram. So please help us build the next rally. Tonight I think we've probably got 500 or more people here. Next Saturday, in a week's time, we want to have at least 2,000 people here. We want to keep growing our numbers. And we're going to grow and grow our numbers. Okay, I want to introduce our next speaker, Amar Abu Shamle. If Amar can come forward. Amar is a Palestinian Australian born and raised in Perth, a graduate of software engineering from UWA, and his ancestry hails predominantly from Jenin. Amar has been involved in various areas of Palestinian advocacy, including the UWA Palestinian Cultural Society, Australia Palestine Advocacy Network, and Novi Heritage. He is now the chair of the Palestinian community of WA. Please make Amar welcome.
Thanks, Nick. So, the first time that I ever visited Palestine, my response initially was one of awe and a response of homecoming. I felt enthralled by the beauty of my people and land. Over time, however, a sense of horror set in as I came to see the stifling occupation my friends and family endure in Palestine. Last Thursday, late into the hours of the night, hundreds of illegal Israeli settlers gathered, escorted and reinforced by the military, and unleashed for the second time this year a barbaric, pogrom-like rampage on the Palestinian town of Hawara, vandalizing shops, homes, cars, and assaulting Palestinian residents. Lubayd Mahdi, a 19-year-old Palestinian student, climbed onto the roof of his family's home, attempting to protect them from the assailing settlers, before being shot in the heart and killed. Jana Zakarna, a 16-year-old girl, was shot 4 times by Israeli soldiers while standing atop the roof of her house in Jenin last December during a violent Israeli invasion of the refugee camp bordering Jenin's northern borders. Her father found her lifeless corpse with blood pouring from her head. For Palestinians, this death and tragedy is a reality they live every day. Between the start of this year and last Saturday, over 220 Palestinians in the West Bank were killed. At least 40 of them were minors, children like Jana, whose lives and futures were ruthlessly stolen all too soon. What they all share in common, however, besides the tragedy, is impunity. No investigations, no charges, no trials, no accountability. Murad, 32 years old, only 8 days after his wedding, was awoken violently in the night by an Israeli raid on his house. Snatched away from his home and his wife, he was locked away in an Israeli prison under a ruthless system of administrative detention. Without ever hearing his charges, without ever facing trial, he was held for 19 months before being released. Time stolen from him and his family to a system of legalized hostage-taking. Over 5,000 Palestinians, as we speak, are currently held in Israeli prisons. Over 1,200 of them, like Murad, have never heard their charges. And some, like Murad, are victimized more than once. Last December, again taken in the night, Murad was ripped away from his family to languish in an Israeli jail without knowing why, leaving his 3 young daughters with no father. This, my friends, is life under occupation, a life without rights, without liberties, where families are torn apart and people traumatized. Palestinians have lived this reality for 75 years, and it has only ever gotten worse. This year, under the misguiding hand of Israel's most right-wing government in history, led by extremist fanatics like Ben Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, has been among the most suffocating Palestinians have ever suffered, with dramatic rises in settler violence and military raids. The Palestinians of Gaza, who have been held hostage by an inhumane siege for almost 17 years, their dreams and futures stolen from them, again face a massacre, this time more horrifying and more genocidal than any we've seen before. What we've learned, if anything, from the last week is that the US and Israeli strategy of ignoring Palestine has been a colossal failure. In their delusion, they envision a future of normalization accords, where Palestinians are silently forgotten, subdued to an occupation that strips them of their rights. But systems of oppression never endure. They can't. Palestinians only want freedom, liberty and self-determination, the same right as everyone else to wake up in the morning with hopes, dreams and ambitions that aren't indiscriminately stolen by a system of apartheid, to live their days without suffering the indignity of occupation, and to sleep at night without fearing a raid that might tear them away from their families. We will never, ever stop working, from the early hours of the morning until the dark of night, until we realize our dream, a free Palestine. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Netanyahu, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Netanyahu, you can't hide! Netanyahu, you can't hide! Okay, I mentioned before that we'll be organising on Monday. We have an organising meeting. City Place Community Centre is just above Perth train station in the centre of town. If you'd like to find out more from us, there's a Friends of Palestine still in the middle just there, and you can visit our website, fopwa.org, where you'll find all of our contact details, or you can find our Facebook page. I want to introduce our next speaker now, who is Wael Ibrahim. Wael was born in Alexandria in Egypt. He migrated to Hong Kong in 2003 and made Australia his home in 2016. He's currently a counsellor at the Islamic College, so please make Wael welcome. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me at the back? Can you hear me at the back? When I scream like that, can you hear me? We'll do our best, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace, mercy, and the blessings of Almighty God be on all of you. Now, I have in my speech a phrase that I'll keep on repeating. Every time you hear it, I want you to shout it back at me, inshallah. The phrase is, enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
75 years.
75 years.
No, just enough is enough. Otherwise, we'll stay here until the morning. 75 years. No, just shut up. Only the words, enough is enough. When you hear it, shout it back at me. Only the words, enough is enough. A lifetime marked by oppression, injustice, illegal occupation, cruelty, brutality, ethnic cleansing, systematic genocide, and wait guys. You missed the point. When I say enough is enough, you repeat them, all right? "75 years have passed, yet the international community continues to fail in providing basic human necessities to the people of Palestine, particularly those in Gaza. I have come here to not only voice my concern, but to echo yours as well, and to declare to the world, enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
In a world where the color of your skin and where you were born hold more weight than the lives of innocent children, dedicated women, hard-working men, we proclaim to this world that strive on inequality, enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
In a world named Israel, where the norm includes the physical abuse of women and children, their abduction, humiliation, and painstaking control over every inch of their existence. We boldly address such a terrorist state. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
In a distressing world named Israel, where homes are demolished weekly, Palestinian lands are usurped, and the skies over Gaza are consistently shelled with sophisticated weaponry. We challenge this distressing world, and we shout and we outcry, enough is enough!
Enough is enough.
In a world defined by hypocrisy, in a world defined and characterized by hypocrisy, where media outlets readily report Israelis' death while intentionally overlook the more frequent and numerous murder of Palestinian civilians. To this hypocritical world we say, enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
In a lying world where the mantra, Israel has the right to defend itself, chanted, we fail to realize that this sick slogan has been used to grant immunity for war crimes to be committed. Enough is enough!
Enough is enough.
In a world that often calls for peace and security, yet turns a blind eye and a deaf ear to the 75 years of ongoing terror in Palestine. We echo the sentiments of the suffering and assert to this so-called peaceful world, enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
In a world supposedly granting religious freedom, yet the revered Al-Aqsa Mosque and other religious places in Palestine, specifically in Jerusalem, face disrespect, closure in front of worshippers, bombs, live bullets that claim the lives of thousands of people over 75 years. To this disrespectful world we say, enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
In a twisted world where victims are unjustly labeled as terrorists, while criminals are celebrated and allowed to fool the world into supporting their crimes, we stand firm and we declare to this twisted world, enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
In a blind world, that has not seen Gaza, where a staggering 80% of the population relies on humanitarian aid for survival, the depth of these crises becomes plainly evident. Children, innocent in their vulnerability, bear the impact of starvation and trauma, with reports indicating that nearly 50% of them suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. These statistics are not mere numbers. They represent the shattered dreams and stolen childhood that demand our immediate attention. With tears in our eyes and compassion in our hearts, we say, enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
In the relentless cycle of violence, the shocking truth emerges that a significant portion of Gaza's residents, over 50% of them, lack access to clean water. Now they don't have water at all, no electricity at all, subjecting them to life-threatening diseases. The deliberate targeting of water infrastructure compounds this crisis, leaving families in desperate struggle for the most basic necessity for life, water. We cannot turn a blind eye to this humanitarian disaster. We must proclaim with a sense of urgency, enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
As we confront this harsh reality of life in the occupied territories, the unambiguous truth reveals itself. More than half of Palestinian householders suffer from food insecurity. This is not the consequence of food shortage, but a direct result of policies that restrict movement, hinders agricultural activities, and perpetuate dependence on aid only. The pain of empty stomach and the anguish of parents who cannot feed their children cannot be denied. Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
In the face of the refugee crisis, where generations have suffered displacement, the shocking fact that over 70% of Palestinians, or even more, are refugees around the world, this fact cannot be ignored. These are not merely numbers. They represent the shameful legacy of this position and the denial of the right to return home. The international community must confront this injustice, recognizing that the Palestinians once had their homeland and it was stolen forcefully from them through illegal occupation. With an ache in our hearts, we cry, enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
Palestinians too have a right to defend themselves. Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
Let our collective voice echo with the resonance of empathy, justice, and the unwavering solidarity. The tears shed by the Palestinian mothers, the muted laughter of children robbed of their innocence, and the silent screams of generations denied their rightful future reverberate through our shared humanity. Muslim, non-Muslims alike, we share the same feelings. As we confront the plain realities and the shocking facts, let us not be paralyzed by despair, but filled with the passion for positive change. The time for complacency has long passed. We stand on the cliff of history, demanding a world that values the sacredness of every human life. In this very defining moment, with hearts entangled together and spirits and heads that are unbending, let our collective voice shake the world. Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
The resilience of the Palestinian people is undefeatable. I repeat, the resilience of the Palestinian people is undefeatable. And it will remain a thorn in your backs and in your necks for eternity. And together, we shall stand strong for justice, illuminating a path towards a future where no one is shackled by the chains of oppression. Don't let this message die here. Do not let this message die here. Convey it to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Free, free Palestine!
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 Thank you, Wael. Fist in the air. Let's say fist in the air. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Fist in the air. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Israel. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Okay. Israel, USA, how many kids did you kill today? Israel, USA.
How many kids did you kill today?
Israel, USA.
How many kids did you kill today?
Israel, USA.
How many kids did you kill today?
Israel, USA.
How many kids did you kill today?
Israel, USA.
How many kids did you kill today?
Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Netanyahu, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide!
Netanyahu, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
Occupation is a crime. Justice now in Palestine. Occupation is a crime.
Justice now in Palestine!
Fists in the air. Occupation is a crime. Occupation is a crime. Justice now in Palestine. Occupation is a crime.
Justice now in Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Okay, I'm sure they're gonna. Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the
Palestine!
free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, Okay, before I introduce our next speaker, for today's rally we applied for a permit for the right to assemble and the right to march through Perth streets. Those are our rights. Our right to demonstrate for Palestine. The police gave us a permit to assemble here today, but they denied us a permit to march tonight. It's a shame. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back next weekend. Next weekend we're going to come back in even larger numbers, and we will march next weekend. We'll put in our application and we will not accept being denied this right. So I really want to urge everybody here. Sorry, we've still got another speaker, thanks. We've still got another speaker, so I don't know where you're going. Okay, we've got one more speaker tonight, but the message that I want to drive home is that we need to get as many people here as possible next weekend. So please welcome our last speaker tonight. Her name is Vashti Phelps. She's a long-term campaigner in support of Palestinian rights and the author of a book called The Story of Palestine. So please, Vashti, welcome.
Before I begin, I want to ask everyone in this crowd to raise your voice to the sky, because we need to send a clear signal not just to the Israeli government, which is raining down bombs on the people of Gaza, but also to our own government, to the Albanese Labour government, which is currently backing Israel to the hilt. We need to raise our voices. Shame on the Albanese government. Shame. So before I start, I want to ask you all to raise your voices and to say Free Palestine once more before we conclude. So free Palestine! Free Palestine! So we've come here today, not just Muslims, not just Palestinians, but many Australians. We have come here today in grief. We have come here today in grief, but we have also come here today in anger. We are here today in grief at the fact that yet again the population of Gaza is being made to suffer. We are here in grief at the fact that over 2 million people are currently seeing bombs rain down on their homes, on their schools, on their hospitals, and on their families, friends, and loved ones. Shame! We are here in grief at the fact that over 1,537 lives have been lost, that those people have been murdered by the Israeli state. Blood is on their hands. Shame! And we are here today in grief at the fact that those people who have been injured by this bombing raid on Gaza are being treated in hospitals that are losing electricity. These hospitals have been described by some of the staff who work in them as like slaughterhouses, like butchers. Can you imagine what that is like? Shame. We are here tonight in grief at the fact that over 500,000 people have lost their homes, and we are here in grief at the fact that those people have been told by the Israeli government that their homes will be turned into rubble. Shame! So we are here in grief also at the use of white phosphorus. For people who don't know, that is an illegal weapon of mass destruction. That is a weapon that has the capacity to melt through people's bones, that burns off their skin, and this is currently being rained down on civilians. Shame! So we are here in grief, but more than that, we are also here in anger. We're here in anger because the world's media will not call this bombing what it is, a war crime. Shame. They won't call it what it is, which is a legal collective punishment. Instead, the mainstream media in this country has participated in dehumanizing the Palestinians. When the Israeli Defense Minister went on the world's media and called Palestinians animals, was there one word in opposition from our politicians? No, there was not. When the front page of the Australian newspaper called Palestinians savages, did Anthony Albanese or Penny Wong object? No, they did not. So we come here in anger as much as we come here in grief. Because the fact of the matter is, Australia's political class and the Bidens and the Albaneses and the Penny Wongs of this world are setting us up to accept war crimes. And they are war crimes that everyone here should not accept.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free!
from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
So we are angry because the media
Palestine will be free!
the Australian media and the Australian Labor Party will not give any context. And so we are here today to say that there is nothing further from the truth, that Palestinians are evil, that they are savages, and that they are animals. We are here today to say that we stand against the years of occupation, the 16-year crippling siege of Gaza, the 56 years of occupation, and the 75 years of displacement. We will raise our voices against all those horrors. And like Nick said, we are here today in anger at the fact that the Australian government and Labor state governments across the country are trying to stop us from gathering and stop us from marching. In New South Wales, shame. In New South Wales, the state government tried to ban the march. Shame on them. Across the world, in Germany and in France, pro-Palestinian protesters are being banned. Shame on those governments too. Yes, so we are gathering here today to say that we defend our rights to stand in support of the Palestinians. We defend our rights to gather at the war crimes which are unfolding before us. And so we do not just stand here in grief, we do not just stand here in anger, but we stand here in determination. We stand here in determination to rally not just today, and not just next week, and not just the week after if these war crimes continue. But we stand here in determination to keep on coming back no matter what the authorities say, no matter what Roger Cook tells us we can or cannot do, no matter what Anthony Albanese or Peter Dutton or any of our political leaders who align themselves with Netanyahu try and tell us. We commit to returning again and again and raising our voices in support of Palestine until Palestine is free. Thank you.
Free, free Palestine!
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 From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Netanyahu, you can't hide! Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Israel, USA, how many kids have you killed today? Israel, USA. How many kids have you killed today? Israel, USA. How many kids have you killed today? Israel, USA. How many kids have you killed today? Israel, USA. How many kids have you killed today? Free, free Palestine. 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 From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Brick by brick, wall by wall, Israeli apartheid has to fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, Israeli apartheid has to fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, Israeli apartheid has to fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, Israeli apartheid has to fall. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Netanyahu, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Okay, fists in the air. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Everyone, fists in the air. Free, free Palestine. 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 From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Okay, that concludes it tonight, folks. There will be a prayer meeting at the back here. I want to confirm here tonight. Alright, one more for everyone here in Perth to hear us. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Okay, our duty for the next week is to get as many people here as possible on Saturday the 21st of October at 12 noon. I want to see everyone come back and bring 5 people with you, and we will be in our thousands. Okay. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Okay.
Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free.
Alright. I just saw everybody scream at once. If you can just leave in that direction. And we're going to wind it up there. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks very much. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Free, free Palestine.